Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the 14th edition of Random Ramblings with Randomonium. I am your host, Randomonium, and today I'm going to be playing kind of a special game. I'm going to be playing Diana in the Jungle, and that gets me feeling kind of nostalgic because the first game that I ever cast was when I played Diana in the Jungle, and she's actually my main. She's somebody that champion that I really, really love, and one of the big things that I covered in the first edition of Random Ramblings was my background. And I figured that this would be kind of fitting for me to cover my background again since I'm playing the same champion. So my background is that I'm an active duty military officer, and for those of you who don't know, the big thing that officers kind of do is we focus on the big picture. We don't get involved in kind of the nitty-gritty details. We kind of focus on the big picture, and our job is really strategy and tactics and kind of managing the big picture of things. So that's kind of my professional viewpoint of things. I always look at strategy and tactics. And then from a gaming perspective, I'm originally a StarCraft 2 player. And I was a diamond level StarCraft 2 player for pretty much every season that I played. And unlike a lot of people who specialize in one race, I played random, which meant that I got assigned a random race every single game. And that's also how I got my name, Randomonium. But I was able to play all three races at a diamond level, which very few people are able to do, and it's definitely something that I'm proud of. But I didn't play at that level because I had just amazing APM or amazing mechanics or perfect build orders or anything like that. The reason why I was able to play at such a high level consistently was because I was very good at analyzing my play, and I was very good at analyzing other people's play. So I would often look at pros and I would analyze their game and analyze how they played and kind of incorporate their strategies into my own. And then I would also watch every single game that I played and figure out what mistakes I made. And if somebody beat me, I would basically look at what they did correctly, and I would kind of incorporate that into my own play, and that's how I got better and better. But I wasn't able to play for a couple years with games because of military obligations, and when I came back to gaming, I decided that I wanted to focus more on League of Legends because this was a game that I really enjoyed playing. I kind of played it casually for a couple years, and I decided that I wanted to kind of see how far I could go with it. And when I first started off playing, and when I first went into ranked for the first time, I did absolutely horrible. I just played awful. And it took me a while to figure it out, but the reason why I was playing so poorly was because I wasn't doing any of the things that I had done in StarCraft 2 to make myself successful. I wasn't watching the pros to see what they did. I wasn't watching my own replays. I was just kind of expecting to win, and that's just a horrible mentality to have. So ever since that point, I've gone back and I watch the pros, I study what they do, and I watch my own replays to figure out what I do wrong and what my opponents do right so that I can learn from them. And I got into casting because my team was looking for kind of the same thing. So casting was kind of a convenient way that we could all review the games we played. So that's how I got into casting, and that's my background. But in this game, we're going to have Renekton in the top lane. I'll be playing Diana in the jungle. Vladimir will be our mid laner, and our bot lane will be Tristana and Leona. And we're going up against a Shen in top lane, an Elise in the jungle, a Swain mid lane, and a Tam Kench and a Jinx in bot lane. So right now you can see that I'm already moving in position to gank. Leona's also staying in this bush area, but it gets warded up. So she comes forward and misses her Zenith Blade. So that takes away a lot of our ability to gank. But I do come in, and I don't like the fact that Leona, she backs off here. Right? She knows I'm right there. She knows I'm going to come in. Tristan does a good job rocket jumping forward. Leona flashes to try and get her stun, but she lands right on top of a chomp. And this entire time that Tristana's auto-attacking, she's not moving forward between each auto-attack so that she can stay in range. And then on top of that, she walks onto a chomper. So she's way far behind as we continue to pursue. So we have no ability to follow up for the kill here. But Leona kind of loses track of where Tristana is and goes in with her Zenith Blade and gets into tower range and starts taking a ton of damage from the tower. So that's definitely not what you want to do. Is you don't want to try and tower dive someone at level 3 unless they're, really low health, and definitely not without your ADC to support you. But thankfully, Leona is able to escape, and we kind of, get lucky on that one. It's definitely a poor execution of that gank by us. But I definitely want to focus on Leona in the jungle, because that's who I'm playing this game, and she's one of my favorite champions. And in this game, I'm going to do something kind of special. This is patch 5.13, and the new Devourer jungle item is out. And for those of you who don't know, basically, you can get up to 30 stacks onto Devourer, and if you get those 30 stacks, then Devourer becomes sated, and it has some pretty interesting interactions with on-hit effects. So you guys can look it up and see all the different champions and all the different items that it has effects on. But the way that it impacts Diana is that when Devourer gets sated, her passive gets procced every other attack instead of every third attack. So why is that a big deal? So the reason why that's a big deal is that Diana's passive deals the most damage out of all of her abilities. It has the highest base damage at 250 base damage at level 18, and it also has the highest scaling at 80% of her ability power. So that's a huge power spike for Diana because it basically increases her DPS on her passive by 50%. That said, attack speed items on Diana are usually really bad, and the reason for that is because attack speed items, they are based off of your base attack speed. So when it says like plus 15% attack speed, that means plus 15% of your base attack speed. And the problem is that Diana has one of the lowest base attack speeds in the game, so she benefits less from attack speed items than other champions. So that's why you don't normally want to build attack speed on Diana. Usually you want to build ability power, cooldown reduction, things like that, because all of her abilities scale really, really well. However, going sated Devourer can be very powerful with Diana, but until you get sated, she's much weaker because she only has those attack speed items. So when you go to sated Devourer, you're basically trading a weaker 10 to 20 minute mark with Diana for a stronger late game. Because usually if you're able to get the scuttle crabs and get the dragons, the earliest you can probably get sated is about the 20 minute mark, but you might not get it to like the 25 or 30 minute mark if you're not able to get enough stacks. But anyway, I'm going to focus here on top lane because Renekton's doing a great job. He pushes out Shen, and then Elise goes in on him, and he pops his ult. This is great. Shen ults back in to help Elise, and you can see he's doing a fantastic job. He's able to get a ton of damage off, has them both very low, and then he makes this mistake right here, like going into tower range when he's less than 50% health. And of course Shen says, alright, I'm going to taunt you now, and there's no escaping from that, and he winds up giving up first blood. So Renekton did a fantastic job, played it perfectly with Shen and Elise, got them both super low health, and then he made that one mistake by using his slice and dice into the turret range, and it winds up getting the kill. So that just shows you that you can do everything right, and then if you make one mistake, it's all for nothing. So you can see our bot lane, we're doing pretty well in bot lane as well. Got the lane pushed up, and we're pretty even on CS, we're just a little bit behind. But this is actually a pretty good bot lane for us because Leona has so much engage potential, and then Tristana with her rocket jump can really follow up on that engage and be able to deal a lot of damage. And then if she can get a kill on her assist, that resets the cooldown of her rocket jump so that she can get out again. It's great CSing by Tristana. See, for the most part, just a little bit of trading here or there. Tam Kench is very annoying because he can, anytime you try to engage on the ADC, he can just scoop him up into his mouth. You can see Elise comes down for this gank. We have it warded. Leona's kind of doing a good job screening for Tristana. But yeah, very good disengage overall. Good, well-timed rocket jump. The ult's good, but no real reason to use it because they're not in tower range. I would have preferred if Leona had saved that ult until we could make better use of it. So this is such a great engage tool. So our ward spot's Elise coming up here, so me and Swain move to gank her. But she's just got so much movement speed that there's nothing we can do to catch up to her. But what it does do is it does give us Scuttle Crab control, and with the new Devourer, every single time I get a Scuttle Crab, I get 2 stacks. So that's what I'm very happy about. Still getting some good engages in the bot lane. So in our mid lane, we have our Vladimir, and he's going up against a Swain. And typically, Swain is a very good counter pick into Vladimir. Just doesn't go well for Vladimir because Swain has got a lot of sustain as well. But you can see that our Vladimir, he's already getting a ton of CS more than Swain. So he's already at a 25 CS gold lead, and we're only 11 minutes into the game. And that's going to allow him to pretty much go toe-to-toe with this Swain. See that he's continuing to zone Swain out, continuing to get the better of the trades, and then healing up. So Swain lands his Nevermore. That's a good pull by Vladimir to avoid the combo. And you can see that transfusion, and then he pops his Hemoplague, flashes forward. It would get another attack off, and then the Hemoplague just does the rest of the work for him, and he winds up getting the solo kill. So that was perfectly played by Vladimir. And that's very hard to do. That's very hard for a Vladimir to beat a Swain. We catch out Elise and we rotate up to try and gank her. You can see here that Shen winds up using his ult and kind of burns it, kind of wastes it. And he does this flash taunt, still not able to get me. I flash just to make sure that he can't follow up, but we're able to disengage very well. Also a very good pull by Vladimir to avoid the taunt. So they get nothing out of that, and now Shen is in mid lane, and we have Renekton pushing down top lane very hard. So Shen has to blow his TP, and now we've got a TP advantage. So both AD carries are continuing to scale up. Jinx has still got a CS lead. It's about a 10 CS lead right now. But Tristana's doing a really good job disengaging in unfavorable situations. So you can see in this matchup, Shen's trying to get the better of it because he got a lot of this early armor. And that's really negating a lot of the damage that Renekton can do. But I come in, I'm able to land my combination and my E, get the Chilling Smite off. And then Renekton does a great job following up, landing his stun, allowing us to get the kill. And I try to give the kill to Renekton so that way he can try and snowball his lane a little bit better. And then once I am able to get the kill, I go back immediately to farming again because I'm playing Devourer Diana. And my goal is to get those stacks as quickly as possible. So we'll back up real quick so we can watch this bot lane fight. So Elise comes down to gank. Good job disengaging by our team. Elise misses her cocoon. Great ult by Leona. And then there's this good follow-up onto Jinx. That ult was fantastic. So that ult, the Buster Shot, hit both Tam Kench and Elise and almost kills Elise. So you can see Tristan does this great rocket jump flash to get the kill, and then that kill allows her to reset so she can rocket jump back and get out even though Tam Kench used his flash. And then Leona comes forward, does a great stun that allows us to disengage from Jinx. So Swain rotates down. Good job flashing the Nevermore and then getting back here where they can't really do much against us as far as tower diving. Good job dodging the Jinx ult as well. So they've got 3 bot. They actually had 4 bot including Elise. So our team's doing the right thing and we're hard pushing mid tower and hard pushing top tower. And actually we're able to get top tower because of that. And then actually we're going to follow up and get mid tower as well. So we get a kill out of it and we get 2 towers. That definitely is a more than fair trade. You can see that their entire team is still down here. And they're going to wind up getting 1 tower. But we definitely get the better of the trade in this situation. So after they take that tower, we know that they're all kind of really low. We know that they're going to all try and back. So that kind of allows us to set up pretty easily for Dragon. So we ping Dragon to make sure there aren't any wards there. There's nothing that they can really do to stop us as long as we take this Dragon quickly. There's no way that they're going to be able to contest it. So that's something that you want to play on. Don't just play off of when your enemies die to get objectives. Also play on when they back, because you can get objectives off of if their entire team goes back to shop as well. So we get the Dragon, and I get the Scuttle Crab, which is another 7 stacks on Devourer. Tam Kench is chasing. Leona misses her Zenith Blade, but I don't think we would have been able to kill him anyway. You can see we've got both these 2 outer towers down, so we're looking to get this 3rd tower, so we kind of snowball our gold lead. Good Zenith Blade, get the Hemo Plague off, deal tons of damage on the Tam Kench, and kind of really zone them out of the way. There's not much they can do, and that allows me and Tristana to kind of rotate up to this tower and burst it down very quickly. So that was a great play. Basically 4-manned our bot tower so we can get that last outer tower down. Now we've got a pretty nice gold lead, over 3k. So Renekton and Shen are continuing to fight. You can see that Renekton starts off and he was lower health than Shen, but he starts to get the better of this engage. And the reason for that is because he picked up a Black Cleaver to really kind of counter Shen's armor that he has. And Renekton's able to get that solo kill pretty easily. So that's kind of an important point, that you always want to look at what your opponents are building and see how best you can counter them. So this Black Cleaver was a great item to pick up against a Shen who's running a lot of armor. Kind of in a little bit of a lull. I'm continuing to try and farm up my stacks. I've got 15 stacks right now on Diana. I'm about 18 minutes into the game, so I'm a little bit behind. I'd like to be a little bit further along than this. But I have pretty good scuttle crab control. I've gotten almost every single scuttle crab. And I'm looking to get sated around like the 25-26 minute mark. So one of the big reasons why I chose this game is it's not a game where I get sated super quick. It's not a game where I get fed. It's a game that kind of shows you middle of the road, kind of what Diana can do if you go Devourer with her. So it's kind of a good representation of what to expect if you play Diana in the jungle. You can see Shen's trying to, he knows that he's got this ward right here, he knows that he's getting ganked. He does a really good job kind of juking everybody. And then Tahm Kench comes in to ult with Elise. Good pool to avoid both Tahm Kench's tongue and the cocoon. And they're able to back off pretty well. So they're continuing to push this tower 3-man it. And we go back a little bit to this fight. So Swain's continuing to try and engage on me because he's got the level advantage, but Tristana rotates up. So we're gonna 2-man Swain. I come in, get a lot of damage off, but I back off way too late and his ignite is able to kill me. Meanwhile, if I back up again, our Leona decides to try and 1v1 a Jinx, and this is a horrible decision. As a support, especially a tanky support, you're never going to beat an AD carry in a 1v1 fight. You can see how easily Jinx is able to get the kill on Leona, so just never do that. But because they've got 3 people top lane, you can see Tristan is just going to hard push mid lane. But as soon as we push up in top lane, they come back. They engage in this 3v2. They land a lot of CC onto Renekton, do a really good job, wind up tower diving, and very good turret aggro juggling to make sure that none of them die. And they wind up getting the double kill. So that was very well played by them. They executed that tower dive exactly how they wanted to, but Tristana was able to get the inner mid turret. So Tristana comes in. She's going to try and deal some damage, but all 3 of these people just have so much CC that they're able to kite her around and able to get the kill on her. I continue to try and come in to try and see if I can finish them off, but Jinx comes in, so I wisely back off. So that's one of those things you got to be careful. Even if you've got a bunch of enemies who are very low health, if they have a lot of CC, the chance of you getting a kill is highly unlikely. So Leona's trying to hold mid against Swain, and she's actually smartly playing back, making sure that she doesn't get killed again. Swain goes and wards our blue. He realizes, oh, our blue's up, and he wants it. He wants to get our blue, try and get that blue buff steal. So he comes in and tries to engage on me. I'm just going to back off, delay, stall as much as I can, wait for my team to show up, and I'm going to engage. You see that even though that Swain is a level up on me, I'm pretty much able to solo kill him. Yeah, Vladimir gets the kill out of it, but I could have easily gotten that kill on him. And I come up here because I want to get those 2 extra stacks on the Scuttle Crab. Shen tries to taunt me, so immediately I back off. Shen continues to chase this entire time, and something that's very bad is our Vladimir doesn't even move to assist. So this entire time we're getting chased, and Vladimir is here in mid lane farming. So that's definitely a poor job by him. That he should have realized that we could have collapsed on this. But meanwhile, in bot lane, Tristana and Leona are doing a good job getting that split push on, while a lot of their team is chasing us in the jungle. So Jinx comes in. This is a very good ult by Leona. Able to get a lot of damage off on Jinx, wind up getting the kill on the Jinx. And that allows us to take this tower, get a lot of damage on this tower. The problem is that we don't have any ward coverage here. You can see that Swain comes in, able to get his Nevermore off, and able to get the kill onto Leona. So they probably could have gotten a lot more damage on that tower if they had had ward coverage up. But you can see right here that our team's going for Dragon. And if your jungler has Devourer, you want to give your jungler the chance to get a little bit of damage on Dragon. If he's right there and Dragon's low, let him get some damage on Dragon so that way he can get 5 extra stacks. Because right now I'm sitting at 24 stacks, and if they had given me Dragon, that would have been another 5 stacks. I would have been at 29 stacks, and I would have gotten sated by the 23-minute mark. But now I'm going to have to delay that because we're continuing to fight in mid, and I'm not able to continue farming. And also, same thing goes for Scuttle Crabs. Try to save your Scuttle Crabs for your jungler if they're going Devourer, because that's 2 stacks that I don't get anymore because Renekton took that Scuttle Crab. Let's get the way we get the dragon. That's our second dragon at least. Just try to be mindful of the rest of your team and what items they're going for. So at this point I'm so close to getting my Devourer that I just want a hard farm. I feel like my team can hold without me being there. There's no point in just grouping up 5-man mid unless you absolutely have to. That's why I like what our team's doing right now, where we're pushing all lanes, because that gives us an experience advantage in the long term. Alright, so we know that most of their team is mid. There's no reason why Leona should be up here trying to clear a pink, because they can rotate down to her, and there's really nothing we can do to help her. That's exactly what happens. Like, she flashes, but you got the Shen taunt, you got Tam Kench's tongue, you've got the Jing zap, you've got the cocoon, you've got so much CC. There's not much that we can do to help you if you get caught out. This team comp that they have has a lot of potential to get kills. But we rush in, I'm able to get a kill on the Jinx, deal quite a bit of damage, but I wind up dying myself. And you can see that Leona's going to die as well. And we just can't get the damage onto the carries that we need to. Renekton finally rotates down, that gives us a second opportunity to engage. But he winds up getting hit with the cocoon. Very good pull by Vladimir to avoid the Shen taunt. So you can see now we're just trying to position and posture, looking for a good engage, but right now it's a 3v4, so it's something we definitely don't want to overcommit to. But we see the Jinx as top, so we're going to try and start pushing up a lot harder into mid lane, but they wisely back off. So at this point in the game, we've gotten the mid inner turret, So now we're looking to try and rotate into these, both our top and bot tower. So the way that you can effectively do this with your team is you've got to get the jungle warded up. So typically what you'll do is you push up one of these side lanes, you try and get some damage down, they try to block you, and then because you have ward coverage up, you can rotate then to mid, and you can push a mid and rotate back and forth between the lanes, and you have less distance to travel than they do. And what their response is usually going to be is to try and gank you. And you can see here we try and gank. They try to gank with 4 members to bot lane, but because we have such exceptional ward coverage up, this gank does effectively nothing. This entire time, Renekton's trying to push top lane and getting a lot of damage down. So that's how you can effectively split push to try and open up the map. So they try to rotate back towards mid, and as soon as they start to rotate back towards mid, you can see that Tristana and Leona are going to continue to push bot. And since we've got all this ward coverage up, we can push it pretty far and not have to worry about them rotating again. You see we don't overcommit to mid lane. They've got 2 people in mid, so we're going to have 2 people in mid. This allows us to knock down the tower pretty easily. Alright, so this is a very poor play by Leona. She's so far away from Tristan. There's nothing that Tristan's going to be able to do to help you. And yeah, I understand that Jinx flashed and your Zenith Blade kind of went into the tower because of that. But there's no reason why you should be up here in the first place. And now you're in this pretty much a perma-slow state where Jinx is just going to kite you all the way back. Especially with the TAM here, there's nothing you're going to be able to do. You're going to wind up dying. So, yet again, Leona, you were out of position, and it wound up causing you to give a kill to Jinx. So you just got to be really careful with these type of situations that you don't get too far forward when you're playing a tank. You see they come in, they're trying to go very hard to try and get the kill on us. They use Shen uses his flash and his taunt, but we flash as well. And they're pushing very hard. They want to get this inner tower, but at the same time, we've got Renekton who's split pushing very well. So you can see Shen has to blow his teleport to guard this tower because we're going to be able to take it faster than they can take our bot tower. And in response to this, that allows Renekton to teleport. And this is a fantastic play by Renekton. He can teleport. That allows us to engage, and it's a 4v4. Where we have the advantage. You see Renekton comes in, gets his stun off. Elise comes in, great buster shot to knock her away. Both me and Tristana back off because we get focused down pretty heavily. Shen uses his ult to try and come back in to engage. But because we did enough damage on Swain, we're able to engage in this 3v4. Swain comes down, able to get a ton of damage off. I pop my Zonias, so I have them kind of zoned, all 3 of them. Can't really do much of anything. And even though I wind up dying, we wind up getting 2 kills for it. See, Vladimir's still incredibly high health. And even though the Chilling Smite gets off, he's able to get another kill. So, Jinx is able to get away, but it winds up being a 3 for 2 in our favor. So definitely a very well executed fight on our part. So kind of something to look at is, I finally have Sated Devourer. And I got that a couple minutes ago, and I was actually 1, 2, and 3 at that point. Since then I got 1 death and 2 assists, but definitely not very good, right? I'm not really caring at this point in the game. But you can see now that I've hit that power spike. Just keep an eye on what happens with the rest of the game and how much of a bigger impact I'll have. So now that we've got both their mid and their bot inner towers down, we want to try and get this last inner turret. That's our goal. You always want to make sure that you're working towards an objective with the team. You don't want to just be working towards kills. You want to be working towards an objective. So Leona flanks around and she catches Elise out. Our team finally engages. Great rocket jump by Tristana, and I'm able to land my combination, draw Elise back in from max range, and get the kill onto her. And now we're able to do a lot of work onto Shen. At this point, yeah, Leona's backed up a little bit too late. She winds up taking too much damage, and that sets Jinx up for her rocket to get the kill. But I wind up getting a double kill off of that. Let me engage onto Jinx as well. So you can see that Renekton comes in, but he gets bursted out within like a second or two. And the reason why that happens is he's just not very tanky at this point. But between the two of us, we're able to burst out Swain, and then Izonia is the last second. So basically I just tank as much damage as I can for Tristana. And then I back out, because I'm at incredibly low health at this point. 68 health. This rocket jump by Tristana forward is really aggressive. She winds up getting hit with the zap and winds up getting killed. So definitely a slight mistake trying to go into this 1v2 against Tam and Jinx. You can see already, now I'm 3-3-6 when I was 1-2-3 before I got to the Devourer. So you can see already that I'm starting to have a much bigger impact on the team and I'm able to do a lot more damage. So Vladimir is chasing Tam. Able to get the slow off. And then Shen comes in his ulti and Vladimir wisely backs off. But at least we blow Shen's ult. Good pull by Vladimir to disengage. So at this point in the game, we feel like we're stronger than them, but our team comp is much better in skirmishes than in team fights. This Leona Tristana combination is just really good in a 2v2 situation. I'm a very good split pusher. Renekton's a very good split pusher, and Vladimir has so much sustain that he's able to stay in lane very effectively. So we're going to kind of wind up going with a 1-2-2. Where we have Renekton pushing top lane, me and Vladimir are going to be in mid lane, and Leona and Tristana are going to be in bot lane. We're just going to try and pressure them on multiple fronts and see if we can out-rotate them. You can see now, we're able to get Jinx to back off. Jinx and Tam have to take this long route around, and that gives Tristana and Leona time to come in and be able to get this engage onto Swain very easily, so we can get the kill. And now with Swain down, we're in kind of a 5v4 situation, so we can start pushing up the tower pretty effectively. So they continue to position, and we're just kind of stalling here. We're just waiting for Renekton to show up. Then we can try and get a fight. So Leona comes up to engage. It's a little bit out of position, but you can see almost instantaneously I'm able to just destroy Elise. And then we can follow up and get the kill on the Tam, even though he's very tanky. And with those 2 extra kills, we can pretty much take Baron very easily. Because their jungler's down, they don't have a smite. Yeah, they've got Jinx with her rocket, but It's pretty much a very easy Baron for us, and if they try to contest it, we should be able to pick up another kill or two. So we're able to get the Baron pretty easily. And we're just going to go back to trying to get some damage down. So both me and Renekton are very good at split pushing, so I decided that I'm going to start split pushing so that hopefully we can knock down this last inner turret. You can see Tristana goes back to bot lane to continue to split push there as well. So once you get Baron, you want to make sure that you try and make the best use of your Baron. And the best way that you can maximize Baron is to push all three lanes. So you can see I'm pushing top, forcing the teleport from Shen. We're pushing mid. Tristana was pushing bot, and now she's trying to rotate. And they really don't have any idea what to do. They're constantly moving around. They're constantly behind us. They're not able to effectively rotate. So I rotate down to mid, and I'm able to get a lot of damage on the Swain. Tristana kind of aggressively flashes forward, but we're able to pick up the kill onto Swain. And this allows us to get this mid tower. Just those rotations and constantly pushing. So we get mid in him and we back out and we realize that Renekton and Shen are in a wet noodle fight. So we're going to basically rotate to them. I have no idea why Shen continues to try and fight this. I mean, he knows that our team is coming for him. This allows us to get the kill in top lane as well. So we back off because I do have very good wave clear. And they're able to get the kill on Vladimir, and the reason why they were able to get that is we just weren't keeping track of death timers there. It's actually a really good ult by Tam to get Elise and him up here. But you can see how Tristana and Renekton, they're just delaying and stalling as much as possible. And that allows me to pick up another dragon. It allows Leona to continue to push around with Baron empowered minions. I'm gonna back up so we can watch this fight here. So they're gonna decide that they want to try and engage this if they can fight Renekton and Tristana here. So Elise starts tanking the tower. Tristana blows her heal. Rocket jumps around, knocks Elise away with her Buster Shot, and then Renekton comes in, and he's just very powerful, able to get the kill onto Elise. So they tower dived us when we were low health, and we're still able to get a kill off of that. So that was a great job. So yeah, that was fantastic. That stall allowed us to pick up Dragon, allowed us to get more pressure in mid, and now we're able to push up bot lane a lot. You can see that we're warding up their blue side jungle, so we can spot for any rotations. And it also allows us to engage onto Jinx very easily and get a kill. And then as soon as Swain moves into this part of the jungle to try and rotate towards us, since I got the Wolf Spirit, we know pretty much instantly. So that was a very safe engage by us. So we're continuing to try and just push as many objectives as we can. And we kind of catch Swain out here, so we start trying to go for him. And he's just so far out of position right now, we've just zoned him completely out of the fight. And we've also zoned Shen so far out of the fight that we can push this tower very easily. There's not much that they can do about it. That allows us to knock down this tower pretty easily. And then now we can start rotating towards another inhibitor turret. And right about this point in the game, they actually surrender because we get this inhibitor turret, and we have a, even though we're very low health, it's pretty clear that we're going to win this team fight. So this is kind of the end of the game. So I wanted to kind of just pause and just go over real quick, good, bad, ugly for each person before we watch the victory. So for our top laner, for Renekton, so big takeaway for you, for bad, is you need to understand what your role is on the team for various different builds. And in this case, your role on the team is a secondary tank. But your build, if you're looking at your build, you're building really more kind of like as a carry. Yeah, at the very end of the game, you pick up, a Spectre's Cowl, and it looks like you're going towards Spirit Visage. But earlier in the game, you were just getting completely bursted down because you didn't have any tank stats. So just make sure that you just are aware of what your role is and you're building accordingly. Also, I like the teleport play that you did when you came in on bot lane. That was a fantastic play. You just need to do more of that, right? You should be looking for those kind of opportunities all the freaking time. And yeah, that was fantastic. Please do that more often. Please do those teleports more often, because that's how we can win a lot more team fights that way. For what you did really well is that you held your own in top lane, and you got some pretty amazing kills. You did some 1v2 plays where you still got the kill. So you're obviously very, very strong with Renekton. Just beware about overextending with him. Because yeah, you went a little bit too far a couple times and wound up hurting you pretty badly. The final good takeaway that I want to have for you is that you were the only person who upgraded your trinket, so definitely good on you for doing that. For me in the jungle, number one thing, yeah, I didn't upgrade my trinket. Definitely bad on me. I'm always harping on upgrading trinkets, and I didn't do it. So definitely bad on me not upgrading my trinket. On top of that, I definitely could have punished Elise more and got more vision down in her jungle to track her movements. Anytime she ganked, I should have been looking to invade her jungle to try and just force her to get further and further behind in this game, because she did pretty well for their team. But what I did well was I had a kind of a rocky early game just because I was going with the Devoured Diana build, but as soon as I got sated, as soon as I hit that power spike, you saw just we completely snowballed the game. And that's why I love going Devourer with a lot of these champions like Diana. And then one of the other things that I really thought I did well was even in the early game, while I wasn't giving as much gank pressure as I would like, I was controlling the center of the map. I was controlling river, I was controlling dragon, and really controlling that vision of the map to kind of prevent Elise from having a big impact in the game. For mid lane, the big thing that I can fault you on is your map awareness. There were multiple times where you overstayed and you got killed because you weren't keeping track of death timers, you weren't keeping track of positionings of the other team. And there are also multiple times that you didn't rotate to a team fight because you didn't realize your team needed to. You got beat to that rotation. So make sure that when you're looking, like I understand CSing is super, super important, but when you don't need to be focusing on CSing for that last hit, you should be looking to your mini-map to kind of keep that map awareness. Other thing, never upgrade your trinket. So yeah, make sure you always upgrade your trinket. Level 9, it's really, really good for only 250 gold. For what you did well in mid lane, you won against a Swain, which is supposed to be the champion that counters you as Vladimir. And the reason why you won your lane is because you got a dominant CS lead, and you just had great champion control, using your pool right at the right times, using your Hemoplague. You just did a fantastic job with that champion and did a great job CSing. For ADC, I'm going to kind of combine the good and bad into one statement, because they all kind of go together. For on the bad side, Jinx beat you in CS pretty much at every point in the game. But on the good side, you didn't die for the first 20 minutes of the game, even though you were getting ganked a lot. So very good champion control and very good disengage to prevent dying. In the second half of the game, you ended up getting a little bit reckless and ended up dying 3 times. And that's not a lot. Yeah, I understand that it's only 3 deaths, but when you're playing that AD carry role, each one of those deaths had a huge impact on our ability to push and our ability to continue to keep the pressure on. So just be careful getting too reckless unless you get really fed. On the plus side, though, your split pushing was awesome. You really had them just running all over the map. They didn't know what to do. We were constantly pushing multiple objectives, and that was really a lot due to what you did with Tristana and having that pressure constantly on them with your turret taking ability. And then, yeah, just like the rest of the team, gotta make sure you upgrade your trinket. Alright, for the support, you overextended way too much. There were multiple times that you were just way too far forward. You're trying to solo a carry. You just way too far forward. You need to make sure that you're with your team. I understand you're playing a tank, you're playing Leona, but you're not invincible, right? The support is only strong when they're around their team, and you need to make sure that you don't overextend and get in a position where your team can't help you. Also, as a support, you didn't upgrade your trinket. That's really bad as a support. As a support, you should always be one of the first people upgrading your trinket. So make sure you always upgrade your trinket. What you did well, though, is you got that sight stone and you got some great ward coverage now. You had more wards than anyone else in the game on either team, and you had more wards than the next 2 people on our team combined. So tons and tons of wards. Great job warding up the map. And then when you stayed with the team, your engages were really good. Like, you got down some good ults. You missed just very slightly. Like, you didn't get those stuns off on your ult. You rather got the slows. So if you just take another split second to try and aim your ult a tiny bit better to get that stun, that definitely is something you could do a tiny bit better. But on the most part, your engages were really good. Team fighting was really good. For the team, in this entire game, we're looking at a 38-minute game. We bought 1 pink the entire game. 1 pink ward in a 38-minute game. And that's definitely not acceptable. We really didn't do anything to deny their ward coverage. I think we wound up killing like 2 wards the whole game. So that's something we definitely need to work on. Buying more pinks, denying more ward coverage. But what we did good was we did a really great job staying steady, staying constant, not falling behind, not making huge mistakes, being patient, and then capitalizing on the mistakes they made, and just rotating from objective to objective to objective, and just controlling every aspect of the map. We did a great job with all of that. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing Diana in the jungle with Devourer. And this is Randomonium, signing off.